Hello, welcome once again to my channel on Research and Statistics Guide. Today I'm going to be answering one of the very troubling question or puzzling question among young researchers, postgraduate students, and final year students alike. And that question is the difference between research question and research hypothesis. Many a times, students are faced with the challenge of telling or knowing when they need to come up with research questions or research hypotheses, or if they actually need the two. So the topic today is research question versus research hypothesis. We're going to look at what it is, or what they are, and when we use them, and why we use them, and if we may need to use them at the same time. Okay, so to start with, the research question and research hypothesis are related, okay, but they of course serve different purposes, okay, different roles depending on the stage of research that you are or the type of research that you are conducting. For the research question is a broad open-ended inquiry that is meant to guide you in your research question. Many a time we have a number of them. It's like breaking down what you intend to know or what you intend to explore in the course of your research. And the whole idea is to help you narrow down your focus and set direction even for your research. Now, when do we use research question? You use them usually when you are at the early stage of a research or exploration. Maybe you have a topic, a research topic already, and you want to explore. There are still a lot of things that are not very clear about that research. So more often you are going to be thinking of coming up with research questions. And it is commonly used when you are conducting an exploratory research or descriptive research. Now, for example, as we have on the slide, how does social media use affect teenagers' self-esteem? That is an example of a research question. Now, on the other hand, the research hypothesis is a specific, testable statement that actually predicts an outcome. It could be in terms of relationship between variables. Many a times when we use hypothesis, the idea is to compare variables or to determine the relationship between variables. And the purpose is to provide a clear expectation that can actually be tested through experimentation or even data analysis. Okay? Now, when do we use research hypothesis? When you have enough information about your research, about your study, it becomes easy to make specific prediction about that study. Okay? And it is common when you conduct quantitative research and you want to confirm or reject a particular position or a claim as we describe it. Now, if you are conducting correlational study or you are conducting experimental study or causative study, more often you are going to be using what we call research hypothesis. Now, for example, we have the other question, the other research question we add under the research question. We can translate it into a research hypothesis when we make progress in the course of our study. Now, the example there is teenagers who spend more than 3 hours per day on social media will report lower self-esteem than those who spend less than 1 hour. Now, the implication of this is that we have known a bit about the impact of social media on student self-esteem. Now, we are going to the next stage by making a claim based on our initial knowledge. So that is where hypothesis comes in. More often, research hypothesis is commonly used when we when we are at an advanced stage of a particular research, we have some background understanding, some background knowledge about the concept we are actually researching. Okay, so usually in research hypothesis, we are going to be having the position of the researcher, who what he wants to test at the end of the day. Okay, he made a claim based on his foreknowledge, based on his observation, based on his experience, and he wants to test that. Then he will have to come up with a hypothesis. It simply means he has made some level of advances or advancement in that particular line of research. So it becomes necessary to make certain claim, and then you want to test it out. So by way of rule of thumb, we use research questions when we are exploring topics or seeking to understand pattern or phenomena, while on the other hand, we use research hypothesis when we are testing something specific, often with quantitative approach. Of course, with qualitative approach, we can still use research hypothesis. But one thing is very clear, that using hypothesis implies we have background understanding, some measure of understanding about the research. While research question is common when we are just at the preliminary stage trying to explore our topic more importantly. So depending on the level, the nature of your research, you will be using research question or research hypothesis as the case may be. So again, if you look at the two examples I've just highlighted, you can appreciate the transition from exploratory to more specific. So for the research question you have, how does social media use affect teenagers' self-esteem? Now, after we have conducted the study, we have made certain findings. Based on our observation or based on the data we have gathered on the field, we can now make a claim. Then we go to the second stage. Teenagers who spend more time than 3 hours per day on social media will report lower self-esteem than those who spend less than one. So this becomes a research hypothesis. So you come from research question to research hypothesis. Usually for most researches, you either be working with research question or research hypothesis. It's not very common that you have the two mixed together at the same time. So you either work with research question or research hypothesis. It's a very rare situation whereby you'll be working with both in the course of your research. This is the much we're going to take on research and statistics today. You can appreciate that research journey can be quite exciting if you have a good teacher or a good mentor. If you join me in this channel, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I can guide you on how to make your research journey a wonderful experience. My name again is Dr. Felix Ayodele. I will see you in my next class. Thank you.